this is why some travelers always find the win. I find deals left and right. You do. Many of our members do. But without this mindset, without getting past this, you're never going to find it. And I hate to say never. I hate to be fatalist here, but that's kind of the reality. If there isn't some mindset shift here, you're going to struggle.
It's true, guys. Some people join Jay Gould and they expect some sort of silver bullet. Like we've just got this secret that we're holding back and we should just give you the secret, and it's sort of a math formula. And if I do this, this, and this, then it's going to equal this amount of travel. And it's really just not like that. Learning to do the Jay Gould method is more like learning to play a musical instrument is my favorite analogy. There's some science to it. There's some art to it, but a lot of it is just something inside of the person that makes them extremely open to trying to think in a new way. But the other thing I like to say is everybody can take small steps towards this.
I love it. With that, I think we're ready. You ready to dive in here, Katie?
Let's do it. All right. So most people live in this sort of mindset that they're not traveling better because it costs too much, or they don't have enough points, or they don't have any vacation time. They're just not lucky. They can't find the deals. And honestly, the difference is it's how you're thinking about it. It's not about having more money or more points. We live in this scarcity mindset with travel, that it's going to take tons of money, so we can't do it. It's going to take tons of points, and I just don't spend that much. I'm frugal, or I'm on a fixed income, so I can't generate points like somebody else. But honestly, you just have to change the way you think, and that eliminates so many of those roadblocks.
Speaking of the abundance versus the scarcity traveler here, a tale of two travelers here.
Yep, there they are. I also call this my glass half full, my glass half empty person, right? Yeah. Pooh Bear versus, Tigger versus Eeyore, however you want to think of it. But the kind of traveler that I am, the kind of traveler that Anthony is, the kind of travelers I can pull them out of the hat, we tend to be curious. We have a sort of adventurous mindset. Instead of seeing hurdles or being skeptical, we just want to know more. We want to dig down a little deeper. And there also tends to be a certain amount of flexibility in the perfect Jay Gould traveler. And I hear people say, oh, well, you just don't know my job, and you just don't know my kids, and you don't know my schedule. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about those sort of concrete hurdles that you have to work around for travel. I'm talking about the ability of your own brain to have a certain plasticity, to take in information and to respond in a new and different way than you've ever responded to the same situation. So it's the opposite of being rigid in your thinking. I have one client, and I'll pick on her because I love her dearly. We've been coaching together for 2 years, and she still, because she's lived her whole life in Atlanta, she says, but I don't think Delta flies there, and I keep having to tell you've got to quit thinking you got to fly Delta just because you live in Atlanta. So it's this ability to unrigid ourselves, be more open-minded. And then this one's hard, okay? Overthinking and waiting too long. There are many things in the Jay Gould universe that are going to sort of initiate that analysis paralysis feeling. Yep. Yes, absolutely. That is going to be very common because you don't want to mess up. You don't want to do it wrong. You've invested your time and energy into learning this stuff, and you don't want to mess it up. But honestly, someone who is confident enough to act quickly and pull the trigger is going to have a much better experience overall than someone who waits too long, overthinks, and gets in that paralysis mode. We've got the same airport, same internet, same opportunities, but you're going to have different results based upon kind of your personality. Some of this, I will admit wholeheartedly, is just part of your personality, but I also think that we can change anything that we are willing to admit to. Okay. I have been a very non-committed fitness human my whole life, and I have changed that because I realized at 52 years old, I had to start getting in shape, building muscle. My kids have been helping me. But I had to kind of come to terms with the fact that that wasn't me, and I needed to be more like that to make that change. And I think you can do that with Jay Gould as well.
I like that. I'm curious, since that was part of your process, was acknowledging it and calling it out. Maybe we can kind of do that with the chat right now. You're not committing to this. This is who you are, but maybe up till today, who have you been? Have you been more like Traveler A or more like Traveler B?
Absolutely.
And like I said, you're not stuck with that. You're not saying this is who I am. but this is who I've been up until today.
Well, and see, I lived with my mother my whole life. She'll say, I'm a Libra. I have to weigh my options. You know, takes a long time to make a decision. Now, guys, I have made some decisions sometimes that were quite rapid and impulsive and not landed me in hot water, but I definitely had to fishtail my way out of it. Okay, so here's the difference. Traveler A, this is going to be easier for you. Okay, it's just going to be easier because you naturally gravitate to this way of existing in the world. Traveler B, you can work towards this. All you got to do is name it, like Anthony asked you to do. Just name it, you know?
You could be like Janet here. Used to be B, more A now.
Yay!
So
that is awesome.
This is a skill that we can work on.
Yeah, my daughter's that. She used to be extremely traveler B. She was I call her the anxious traveler, right? She had to kind of know, dot every I, cross every T, know the ending to every story, or else she just didn't feel safe. She didn't feel comfortable. And now she is much more like traveler A. She still wants to know, you know, is there a restaurant that has gluten-free food there? Is it, where am I going to be spending the night? You know, she's still very organized with her travel, but she's definitely leaning more into that traveler A. And if she can do it, I know all you guys can too.
I love it. And there's a lot of folks who are saying that. I'm moving toward that A.
Love it.
And that's the mindset. And that's what Katie's going to help us with here.
Awesome. So, you know, rule 1, I teach rule 1, and people tend to silo rule 1 and rule 2, right? They put rule 1 in a silo and they think that the 2 rules are just how you pay for the ticket. And that's not really it. Okay. That's oversimplification of the Jay Gould rules. So rule 1 is more of a mindset than I'm just going to pay cash instead of points. It is not just, you know, using cash because I'm finding a cheap deal. It's really this idea that from the bottom up, we're going to change the way that we plan our travel. We are going to go where the deals are. We are going to find a deal and plan a trip around that instead of deciding where we're going to go and then creating havoc trying to find a deal that fits that. So just like we talked about that traveler A, it requires some flexibility. It definitely requires curiosity. You need to not be the person with the pen poking holes in every theory. Oh, but what about this? Oh, but what about that? You have to kind of trust the process, okay? Mm-hmm. And you have to some extent. Now, rule 2 kind of bails us out on this last little bullet point. It's okay to have a bucket list. I'm a big proponent of having a bucket list. We can work around those things. Those probably aren't going to be your rule 1 trips. Those are probably going to be more rule 2 trips. Sometimes the stars align, but preconception in general, you got to let go of that. You cannot look at where an airplane lands and have a preconceived notion of what a trip to that place is going to be like. You got to get more creative.
I love this. Katie, this came up. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on this. Jackie said, initially I was B, trying to get those spectacular redemptions, but now I'm moving towards A and just doing it. In your experience, because you meet with hundreds of people in accountability coaching, can that become a hurdle for people? I'm so committed to, I've got to get this outrageous redemption that it complicates the whole process for them and causes more stress than it helps.
Absolutely. It's what I call the Jay Gould handcuffs. You're shackled to this idea of this killer redemption that's going to make it all worth it. Whether that is your investment in the lounge, your investment in the vault, your investment of time in the Jay Gould book and just studying this and practicing it. So people want to just hold out for that fantastic redemption that's going to make it all worth it or prove to their spouse. That's also one often, you know, it's going to prove to my husband that this is not a scam. And guys, you will pass up so many opportunities just holding on tight to that idea when getting some momentum and getting started is probably the best thing. You know, when we first came out with the book, Joel said, just book a cheap Chase, transfer from Chase to Hyatt and book a cheap hotel in your own town. And, you know, people are like, oh, but I'm saving my points. But he was right about that because the momentum you get does something really magnificent with your mindset and getting a couple of small wins in. These are what I call low stakes travel trips. You guys are white knuckling to these high stakes trips. But once we kind of shift into this abundancy, right? This idea that we can travel more than we ever thought possible, then just pulling the trigger on something that seems like a good deal kind of just opens up those energy pathways to make all of this stuff work for you, because it really is a shift in the way you're thinking about it.